This was the Peugeot Ludix I found on MarketPlace for only 200 euros. Yes, you heard that right. Clean title, dirt cheap, and listed for only 15 minutes before I bounced on it. No time for price haggling, no negotiation. When a deal like this pops up, you move instantly or it's gone. But let's be real, 200 euro scooters can either be a jackpot or a money pit. So, before even thinking of riding, I pulled out my 15 euro compression tester. Spark plug out, tester in, wide open throttle. 5 kicks later, boom, 120 psi. The engine's healthy. For a second I thought, maybe this flip will actually be easy. Link to the compression tester in the description. However, that optimism didn't last. The moment I got the bike into my garage, I knew I was in for pain. The paint, absolute garbage. A rattle can job with overspray everywhere. There was also a crack in the air intake manifold. But that's a detail. So first thing I did, I gave it a thorough cleanse, a thorough wash and deep rinse, and then I stripped it down. Then I made a simple to-do list, what I had to do to the bike, because I always do that. First, full respray. Second, fix the intake. Third, fix the steering wobbliness, and so on. The rest are more details. When I bought the bike, it already ran, but only for like a few seconds. So I was figuring it out, messing with the carb and shit. And first thing I noticed after trying to start it is it started pissing out fuel out of the carb. It wouldn't idle at all. And it also ran pretty rough, which I later found out what it was, and you'll find out too in this video. So I cleaned the carb, replaced the intake manifold. It was already a bit better, but every time I thought it was fixed, the scooter found a new way to slap me in the face. So I decided to order a brand new 17.5mm carb from Amazon for only 20 euros. A link is in the description. Then I tried figuring out if the oil pump actually works. You do this by simply taking off the oil hose from the carburetor and you let it idle and you use throttle a little bit, then it should start seeping out oil little by little. So it kind of feeds the oil into the carburetor at a slow rate. So you get a mixture of oil, gas and air entering your system or your engine. However, the pump was sketchy as well. Had to measure it out, connect it to 12 volt directly, and even replace some plugs and some wiring, but it still didn't do anything. So I decided to get rid of the oil pump completely, removed it from the bike. So now we're using Premix, just using 1:40, which is 2.5 centiliters of oil, two-stroke oil, for each 1 liter of fuel. It's super simple. And that's a general rule for like almost every two-stroke engine you can run, so that's safe. However, so I ordered the new carb, but then still it didn't run properly. I was like, yo, what's up? I swapped the spark plug from my other project, my Honda Scoopy. Still, it ran fine for like a few minutes, then it died again. But also on the Honda Scoopy, the plug I pulled out was also not a new one. So I was kind of skeptical, and I was right to be skeptical. So what I did, I ordered one stupid thing, spark plug for €5, also of Amazon. Link is in the description. Guess what? The bike literally ran like a dream. It turned from a nightmare to a dream only by swapping the spark plug, guys. That's the... So, pro tip number 1 in this video. If ever you buy a new carb, always directly, radically order a brand new spark plug with it. 100%, then you're like, that's the basic stuff, man. Like, engine doesn't run properly, clean carb, set valves, etc. for 4-stroke, but basically clean the freaking carb, check the reads, etc. If it still doesn't run properly, order a new carb and a new plug. However, even after swapping out the carb and swapping in spark plug from my Honda Scoopy I had laying around, nothing worked. At this point, I was ready to light this freaking Ludix on fire. And then I tried one last thing. So a €5 spark plug, that's it. That was the difference between the bike running like an absolute nightmare or running like a dream. Started from the first kick, idles perfect, revs perfect, drove perfect, everything perfect. Instant ripper. So, it's not the end of the video yet, because we have a whole video to come, but I just want to share with you 3 main tips I can already share with you guys. So 3 pro tips right now. Number 1, always check for compression with a compression tester. Link is in the description, as I told you. That way you know at least the top end of your engine is perfectly fine. Second pro tip, if you ever swap a carb, you buy a new carb, always order a brand new plug with it. Always. Number 3, 2-stroke oil pumps love failing from time to time, so it's better off just to get rid of them and use Premix 40-1. Number 4, when painting plastics or fairings, as they say in England, always use spray putty before you spray it, or otherwise you'll have bumps and scratches. It will all come through the paint and your end result will be terrible. And pro tip number 5, whichever vehicle you're buying, guys, always double check the throttle, that it doesn't get stuck. Because when the throttle gets stuck, especially on 2-stroke or just in general bikes without clutch, you're playing with your life. You're driving. I had an accident with this bike in my garden. Sadly enough, I didn't film it. It was a small accident, but I was driving and I was driving like 20 miles an hour, and then I have quite a long garden, and then I did full throttle just to see how bad she rips, but then she kept ripping. So I was like, I couldn't, whatever I did, but my garden is long but not limitless, so I had to jump off the bike, and the bike, kind of flew a meter high, and then the bike kind of flew and landed on its side, and I literally, like, I was like freaking Spider-Man, bro. I jumped off that thing, and these were my legs. I was like, I kept walking, so that was insane. At like 30 miles, like 25 miles an hour, just jumped off that thing and casually walked away. Tip number 6, when you go to the beach, put on some more sunscreen, or do it 2 or 3 times, because I'm toast. Okay, now it's time for one of the more interesting parts for a lot of you guys, which is how much did we spend on the bike, on parts, and how much did we end up making. So, as you already knew, the bike we paid 200 euros. To get it, it was like 10 euros fuel. No biggie. For parts in total, it was like 40 euros. But for the paint as well, it was also about 40 euros. So in total, we had about 80 euros for parts and paint, which brought us at a total investment of 280. We ended up selling the bike for quite a nice price, even if I to say so myself. So it ended up being worth all the work I put in, which was 40 hours. For a lot of you guys, you will think like, oh man, all that work for only that much profit. But you gotta consider, guys, I just started working on motorcycles. I have like a little bit of knowledge from when I was 16 years old, but now I'm 32, so yeah, things have changed. Luckily, there's way better tools, and YouTube and ChatGPT is very handy for when you don't know how to do things properly. Okay, so to finish off with the numbers, we're very simply gonna tell you guys right now how much we sold it for.
Drum roll, please.
We sold it for 600 euro. Ka-ching. So it left. We bought the bike at 200. So spent about 80 euros in parts. So we ended up with a profit of 320 euros, which I'm happy with. Actually, we did, however, spend about 40 hours on it. So if you look at the hourly rate, yeah, it's kind of low, right? And you gotta consider it, guys, like, you're building momentum with this. It's not like I have all the knowledge now on how to fix everything on every bike. I'm far from that. But I'm getting, each flip, I'm literally growing 10-15% knowledge and how to do things properly. I buy equipment to do things properly. If you guys subscribe to the channel, I will be able to do things even way more properly. So make sure to subscribe, hit the like, comment. Please guys, it will really help out myself and this channel so we can start growing this channel like all these people do all over YouTube. It's so easy. It's so easy, bro. Just need that much support and we can grow exponentially. So yeah, the lessons we learned along the way are literally worth way more than even the profit we made, because of those lessons I will be able to make better and more profitable flips in the future. So yeah, another flip, another painful reminder that even the smallest parts can make the biggest impact in how an engine runs. So if it's a spark plug, or especially on two-strokes, if there's a tiny intake leak, like an air leak in your carburetor or in your inlet manifold or your valves, like, yeah, it's very important. But honestly, the feeling you get when you finally figure that shit out and the bike runs like a dream, you kick it, don't even have to kick it fully, you kick it half and the bike is like pop, 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 and you twist the throttle and it goes and it's like, yeah, but yeah, buddy, we did this. Yeah, buddy, yeah, bata. Ciao, buddy, ciao, bata. And also, guys, the last but not least, like, I really hope you appreciate that I'm sharing the pains that come with starting something new. It's not like, oh yeah, like these, like a lot of other YouTubers, like, oh yeah, I made 10,000 in a day, blah blah blah. No, like, this is how it goes. It's not always perfect. There's good flips, there's worse flips. This one was okay. It's a good starting point. I'm gonna make way more in the future, that I know for real, for sure. And also, like, gonna be flipping ATVs and lawnmowers, big sitting lawnmowers. I don't know how to say it in English, but gonna be fixing those things in the future as well, which will give me way more profit. But first, let's start with bikes and let's do it properly, guys. Everything we do, we try to do it properly, because that's the key. Our next flip is a 125cc Kymco Quanon, which is like 2009, which is like a very good looking, awesome bike. You'll see it on screen right now. However, I thought I was gonna make a lot of profit from it, but did we? So, how far along the journey are we to our Dream Ripper, which is around 10k? We sold the first bike we made 375 profit on the Orion. On the Monkey we lost 100 actually, and on the Ludix we made 320. So that's already 695. And if you enjoyed watching this flip video, make sure to comment down below what parts would you have done differently. Probably a lot of them. What things would you have done differently, or what would you have changed on the bike? Let us know in the comments down below. The fourth one I already know. I'm not going to tell you guys. For that you have to watch the video right here about the Kymco Quanon, and you'll find out. Thanks for all the support, and I'll see you in the next one. This was the Peugeot Ludix. This was the Peugeot